Hi guys. Okay, I had to get live over on our other platforms. Welcome to day 71 of our devotional time for mindset. Oh, I need to catch my breath for a second. Okay. And we ain't even got started yet. Welcome to day 71 of our 100-day journey of devotional time for mindset, where we are just going on our spiritual growth, our spiritual journey, and getting more intimate and closer to Christ as we learn how to protect our minds from the enemy, because we know that the enemy wants to control our thoughts so that he can control our lives, but we ain't having it. Okay, family? So, hey, Bitari. Hey, welcome back, Cousin Carrington. Welcome. Hey, Matabiso. Welcome. Tell me where you're tuned in from, Matabiso. Welcome back, Cousin Arnetta. Hey, Philip. Hey, Cousin Shamik. Hey, Marlene. Cousin Shamik says, hey, cousin, over on Clubhouse. Jose, Dolores, Sandra, Chase, BJ, Jessica, Fieldster. Welcome over on TikTok. And I missed a whole bunch of names because it was scrolling too fast. Listen, if you're tuned in right now, then let me know where around the world you are tuned in from. Like Aunt Fran did, says she's hello, live from Chicago, okay? Cousin Nancy is back with us, tuned in live from LA. So let me know, okay, Gabby? Okay, lovely lady? Tell me where you're watching DTM from. And whether you're catching the replay or you're tuned in live right now, just tell me what country you're in, what state you're in. Cousin Gordon is back tuning in live from Lowell, Indiana. Cousin Tabitha Leo is back tuning in live from Louisiana. She says, hello, family. Cousin Arnetta says, hey there, great to be back. Cousin Shamik says she's tuning in live from New Jersey. Hey, Latoya. Hey, Ann. Hey, Sunflower. Hey, Carla. Welcome. Okay, so shout out to everybody for tuning in. Again, let me know in the comment section where you're tuned in from around the world. Now, we are on day 71 of our 100-day journey, okay? And this devotional is guided by the book Battlefield of the Mind Devotional by Joyce Meyer. Not the book, but the devotional version of the book. And if you want to follow along with us, you can actually download your free copy at mindsetmastersuite.com, okay? That way you can follow along as we read the day's devotional. Hey, Gon, welcome. So, mindsetmastersuite.com is also where you can submit a prayer request. You can contribute your answers to our favored list. You can also officially subscribe to our DTM community. All right. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this community, and then we're going to get started, because some of you have already subscribed, and I'm so excited. But this is where we are actually going to continue our 100-day journeys, because we only have 29 days left. After today, we have 29 days left of DTM. Welcome back, Cousin Fancy. That's it. We've been here every single day since January 1st. Can you believe it? And we only have 29 days left of our 100-day journey. And so some of you are going to be going through withdrawals. Like, what do I do now? I'm so used to being at DTM every day. That's where the DTM community comes in, okay? That's where all of these hundreds of thousands of platforms, I was exaggerating, it's really only 8, where all of these different platforms, now you can come together and be connected with each other directly in one singular space, okay? That's also where you guys are going to get to shine and do your thing as well, because I won't be the leader in there. We all will be the leader. Now, I'm still going to show up once a month and lead some things, but you guys will also have the opportunity to lead and post and connect with one another and pray for one another and have a prayer session or whatever it is that we need to have, okay? You will also get a special discount for being a part of the DTM community for any potential DTM merch that may arise in the future. I said may arise. I didn't say will arise. If it ever happened, y'all will get a discount being a part of the official DTM community, okay? We will also have guest speakers that will pour into us, and they will be vetted, so no worries about that. So I just wanted to make sure I shared with you guys just a little bit more details about what exactly is the official DTM community. So make sure you subscribe at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay. Cousin Nicole says, good evening. Welcome back. Oops, let me get that off of there. Cousin Nancy says, please let Cousin Brittany know that I have to miss day 72 for a birthday tomorrow night, but I will be sure to watch her repeat. You got that, Cousin Brittany? So Cousin Nancy wanted you to know that don't take it personal that she won't be there on tomorrow, okay? It's nothing to do with you, but she has an event that she has to go to. But she's definitely going to catch the replay, okay? Now, see how I just did that? See how I had to say that comment to Cousin Brittany on a different platform? In the official DTM community, y'all will be able to say it directly to each other, okay? So make sure you subscribe. Devotional Time for Mindset official community. That is available at mindsetmastersuite.com. Cousin Katasha says, good morning, cousins. Tuned in live from Maryland. I am the miracle coach. That's Cousin Brittany. She says, okay, Cousin Nancy. Hey, Maria. Hey, David. Hey, Willie. Hey, Clance. Hey, JR. Welcome. All right, so let's get started with day 71. I just wanted to give y'all a couple little housekeeping notes. Speaking of, you might be worrying about what was I talking about between Nancy and Brittany just then. So tomorrow I am actually booked to film, and it's an overnight filming. So there's no way possible that I can be available. So we have our good old cousin Brittany tuned in live from Oklahoma City that will be filling in. But here's this, family. I also may be available. We don't know yet because they changed my call time from the nighttime to the daytime, and now it's supposed to be a daytime shoot. But I just got a third call time, and now it's kind of starting in the afternoon. And so I won't know my official call time until the morning. Okay, that's how Hollywood works. And if for some reason I am not available, then our beautiful cousin Brittany, will be ready to go to host day 72 tomorrow, day 72 in my place. And she will be amazing. I have no worries. And she's been here from the beginning. So, okay. And FYI, just so you know, if she does, TikTok, Clubhouse, and Instagram will not be available. So make sure if you normally tune in on those platforms that you tune in on YouTube for sure. Okay. So that was my last housekeeping note. Let me get into it. My name is Lindsay Vertner, because you're probably like, who the heck is this lady that's been blabbering on for the past 5 minutes? Lindsay Vertner, mindset expert, speaker, and actress, and I work with high-achieving leaders to help them prioritize self without guilt, specifically in what I call the 3 pillars of self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline, because those 3 pillars subconsciously impact every single thing that we do in life, okay? And it's a part of my personal purpose to help each and every one of you to create what I call a first-class life, which is a life full of purpose, fulfillment, and happiness. And that's actually the life that God desires for each and every one of us, okay? So that's why we're here on DTM, so that we can call that life up on us and that we can create that life for ourselves and just receive all the things that God actually desires for us, but the enemy wants to take from us, all right? So let's get started with day 71. Again, please share this live stream out, comment, leave your questions, your insights, your ahas, anything in the comment section, because that helps this to be spread to other people, all right? Whenever you engage with the live in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so let's get started. If you're new here, every single day, we read the day's devotional directly from the book. Again, if you want to follow along, you can download your free copy at mindsetmastersuite.com. Otherwise, I'm going to read it right now, and then we're going to start our discussion, okay? Welcome back, Cousin Miss Nitra. Welcome back, Cousin Living My Reality. Hold on, guys. I need to take a drink. Okay. Let's get started. Day 71 is titled Wasted Life. Okay? There's 2 opening scriptures for today. The first one says, Jesus said, peace I leave with you. My own peace I now give and bequeath to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. Stop allowing yourselves to be agitated and disturbed, and do not permit yourselves to be fearful or intimidated and cowardly and unsettled. That's from John 14, verse 27. The second scripture of the day is I have told you these things so that in me you may have perfect peace and confidence. In the world, you have tribulation and trials, and distress and frustration. But be of good cheer, take courage, be confident, for I have overcome the world. I have deprived it of power to harm you, and I have conquered it for you. That's from John 16, verse 33. The devotional reads, in my book, Battlefield of the Mind, I admit I wasted many years of my life worrying about things I could do nothing about. I would like to have those years back and be able to approach them in a different way. However, once you have spent the time God has given you, it is impossible to get it back and do things another way. What I didn't realize for so many years was that Jesus' peace is always there, ready and waiting for us. His peace is spiritual, and his rest operates in the middle of trouble, noise, and confusion. Too often, we think we'd be just fine if there weren't so many storms in life, but that's absolutely not true. Real peace comes from going through the storms and winning the battles of life. I attended the funeral of an elderly gentleman several years ago. Near the casket stood the 84-year-old widow who had just lost her husband in a fire that had totally destroyed their home. She barely came out alive herself. Just a week or so earlier, her son had died of cancer, and her daughter had been killed in a freakish car accident. She had lost all of her loved ones within a period of 2 weeks. How are you handling all of this? I heard someone ask her. How can one person endure so much? The woman's eyes were moist as she replied, but her voice was firm. She said, it wasn't easy. I felt as if I were walking across a river that kept getting deeper, and I was sure I would drown. I kept crying out for God's help. And do you know what? My feet touched the riverbed, and my head was still above the water. I had made it across. God was with me. His peace enabled me to keep going when I was sure I would drown. This is how God's peace works. Jesus made it clear that we don't have to worry because he is with us. No matter how deep the water is, he is always there. I thought again of my years of worrying and living without God's peace. I was a Christian and I tried to follow God in every way I knew. However, money was a big problem in those days, and many times I wondered if we would be able to pay all of our bills. My husband Dave never seemed to worry about anything. I'd be ready to collapse under the stress of it all, and he'd be in the other room playing and wrestling with the children. One time I asked in frustration, why don't you help me figure this out instead of playing with the children? What would you like me to do? He asked. I didn't know what to say. There was nothing he could do, and I knew it. But it upset me that he could go on enjoying life as if we weren't in a desperate financial situation. But that was also a great moment of awakening for me. I had been at the kitchen table for at least an hour, worrying and fretting and trying to figure out how to pay all our bills. No matter what I did, we simply didn't have enough money that month. Dave understood the problem and didn't like it any more than I did, but he didn't fret. He knew there was nothing he could do to change the figures. He didn't say it, but I realized what he meant. If we can't change anything, why are you wasting your life trying to fix the things that can't be changed? As I look back, I'm ashamed of myself. I wasted so many hours of my early married life. Instead of enjoying my life, my children, and my husband, I wasted my energies on trying to fix things that I couldn't fix. God met our financial needs, sometimes through amazing miracles, and all my worry was for nothing. I wasted a precious time in my life, part of the wonderful, abundant life Jesus offered to me. I have it now, and I'm grateful, but I could have had a more abundant life back then. It took me a while, but I have finally learned to enjoy the faithfulness of my Heavenly Father. The closing prayer reads, God of all peace, help me to recognize and enjoy your presence in my life and to be thankful for all your blessings. Don't let me waste my life worrying about things that only you can control. In the name of Jesus, I ask you to free me from worry. Amen. Okay, DTM family, that was our day 71 devotional reading. Hey, Joe. Hey, Jennifer. I see you snuck in there on me on Clubhouse. Hey, Luna. Hey, Ramona Pop. Good to see you. Hey, Maisha. Hey, Brandy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Donnie, Honesty, Bree, RCG. Hey, Arlene, Madeline, Mr. Richland, Kimberly, Miss Brown. Welcome, everybody. If you are just tuning in, we are on day 71 of our 100-day journey of devotional time for mindset. And listen, if you want to follow along in the book with us, you can download your free copy at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay, you can also submit a prayer request at mindsetmastersuite.com. You can contribute your answers to our favorite list at mindsetmastersuite.com. If you actually want to join me in the discussion outside of the comments with your mouth, verbally, then you can click the join live button at mindsetmastersuite.com. And also, family, please make sure that you subscribe to our official DTM community at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay, that is where you will find all the things. If you want to catch the replays from the previous 70 days, you can click on the YouTube link that is right there for you at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay, so let's get into our discussion. Cousin Tabitha is back with us. She says, hey, tuned in live from Indianapolis. Good to see you again. Let me get another quick sip of my water. Hey, JP. Hey, Tina. All right, day 71, a wasted life. Now, I want to throw a couple tidbits at you, okay? Now, I want you guys to think about this as we are going through our discussion and every day afterwards, okay? So, according to ourworlddata.org and another site that I forgot to write down, but I looked at 3 different sites to make sure all the information was in alignment and truthful and that it came from credible sources. According to worlddata.org and a few other ones, our average lifespan as of 2021 is about 70 to 80 years. Hey, Lavender Lover. 70 to 80 years is our average lifespan. Some people gonna live less, some people gonna live more, but the majority of us are gonna live about between 70 to 80 years old. Okay, JB? Now, we're gonna break that down because here's how that 70 to 80 years, and actually, we're just going to assume that all of us tuned in right now are going to live to be at least 80 years old. And if we live to be at least 80 years old, here's how it breaks down with all the other things that we do in our lives, okay? So we spend about a third of our lifetime sleeping. And about a third of our lifetime of 80 years is about 26 years just sleeping. It means you're not laughing, you're not making whoopee with your boo, you're not eating, you're not enjoying a movie, you're not going out to brunch with your friends, you're not at church. You're sleeping for about 26 years worth of your lifetime. That's the most prominent thing that's going to take up your time, okay? Then we spend on average about 14 years working. Now, obviously, you're like 14 years, but I've been working all my life and I've been working for 30 years. But are you working 24 hours a day? No, you're not. And if you are, we got a serious problem that we need to deal with. Okay. So taking your typical work hours and adding them all together is what it is. That's about 14 years of your lifetime, give or take a few years. Okay. So we got 26 years. Then we got 14 years of working. Oh, and I forgot to mention, on average, we spend about another 7 years just trying to go to sleep. So add that 7 to 26 and you get 33 years. Okay. So 33 years sleeping or attempting to sleep, 14 years working. We spend about 8.5 years just watching TV. Now, some of you are going to be like, but I don't have a TV in my house. I never watch TV. Okay, we get it. But on average, the majority of us spend about 8.5 years watching TV or watching movies. Okay. We spend about 3 years on social media. Now, it doesn't seem real big whenever we open up our phone and we scroll for 5 minutes and then we put it down and go back. So remember when we talked about little by little and how it's the little consistent things that we do all the time that add up to the big moments? Because, oh, I'm just on here for 5 minutes. That doesn't seem like much. But how many of you have ever said in your lifetime, you pulled up social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it was, just to watch one thing or to check one thing, and then the next thing you know, you've been on there for 2 hours? I know that's happened to me more than once. How many of us can be honest that that has happened? Mhm. So we spend about 3 hours on social media. In our lifetime, okay? And then we spend, oh, wait, let me see. Over on Clubhouse, Nancy has her hand up. Cousin Arnetta says, guilty. I'm glad some of us are being honest, okay? Nice. Yes. I'm sure we've all had it happen. It's just only three of us are willing to admit. Hey, Carmen Cooper. Welcome back, Cousin D. Lee. Okay, so 33 years sleeping, 14 hours working, 8.5 hours watching TV, not hours, whoop, whoop. I was about to mess that all up. 33 years sleeping, 14 years working, 8.5 years watching TV, 3 years on social media. We spend about 5 years of our life eating, so just eating food. And Cousin Brittany, let me know if you just chilling or if you actually want me to bring you up, okay? So about 5 years of our life eating food, just eating. And we know we have to eat to stay alive. We spend, some of us, about 1.5 years exercising. And believe it or not, we only spend about 1 year in school. So if you add all of those things up between working, sleeping, watching TV, being on social media, hey, welcome back, Cousin Eliza, eating, exercising, and school, then guess how many years we have left of our 80-year lifespan? Anybody do the math yet? 14 years left. 14 of our 80 years of living. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild to think about? We feel like we have so much time in our lives, so much time in our day, but when we actually look at everything, it really brings some things to light. So I want to share something with you. Now, how did that happen? You can bring me up so our cousins will recognize me. Got it. That is so weird that it came up on my, but hey, look at me talking to myself. Okay, so before I get to this next part of the discussion, I'm going to bring up our cousin Brittany, tuned in live from Oklahoma City, okay? Because just in case she has to sub in for me tomorrow, you guys will recognize her. And if you've been here like anytime in the beginning, then you've seen her before because she came and she chatted with us before. Just like any of you guys can click the join live button at mindsetmastersuite.com. She was one of the first people to click the join live button at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay, so Cousin Brittany, just introduce yourself for a second, and then we're going to continue our discussion.
Hi, Devotional Time for Mindset family. I am Brittany Clay. I am the Miracle Coach, and it is an honor to be here with you, Lindsay. So I have this like fake background up. It won't be like this tomorrow. I'm just really like in my bedroom chilling. So um yeah, be well lit and we'll act like we got some sense. But I'm chilling tonight. So yeah, this is a really good devotional tonight. So I just wanted to hop on so people will be when they if they see me tomorrow, if I have to come on, and when they see me, hi Miss Fab Tab. When they see me, if they see me, they will recognize me and they won't be like, "Whoa, what's happening?" Because I am not.
Yes, yes. And the site is updated. Cousin Nancy says, hi, Brittany, over on Clubhouse. The site is updated as well. There's a big red warning that says, hey, FYI, our cousin
That's
Brittany is going to be co-hosting with us for day 72, and it'll only be available on these platforms. So hopefully everybody that is looking for it will find it.
Yep.
Okay, just in case. All
But that's
right.
why you're doing a great job tonight. I mean, I can hop off, and I just wanted to get on here and make sure that everything. I mean, it's working because I'm you. Like I'm replying as Lindsay Vertner. So look,
Ah, I love it.
nothing's wasted. Look, nothing is wasted in this StreamYard life. Like
Hmm.
it's all working
Yes,
out.
while you was talking, I said, let me use that as a moment to rehydrate myself.
Do what you gotta do, cause yeah, you got a lot more talking to do.
Yes, yes. Cousin Nancy says, the beginning of your combo, I had 19 years left. Now, after that analysis, I probably have 5 years left with the crying face. Oh no. Well, listen, Cousin Nancy, we're going to talk about, as we continue the discussion, how to be present in the moment, because the last thing that we want to do is waste our lives. That's what the enemy wants us to do, but that's not what God desires for us to do. And I don't want any of our DTM family to be wasting their lives away, okay? Hey, welcome back, Cousin Soleil. She says, hi, cousins, over on Instagram. Hey, After Five Boutique and LXJ Beauty Line and Barbara and Be Light. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cousin Arnetta says, can't see her on Clubhouse. Will we be able to log in? So for day 72, Clubhouse, Instagram, and TikTok will not be available. And some of the Facebooks will not be available. So normally we stream live on 8 different platforms, but tomorrow, if Cousin Brittany has the co-host for us, it will only be available on 3 platforms because she has access to the account that goes out to everything, but she doesn't have access to all the other things that are in my physical presence, i.e., both my phones and my iPad. Okay. So just make sure you tune in on YouTube. Okay, Cousin Arnetta, and anybody that normally tunes in on TikTok or Instagram or Clubhouse, make sure you tune in on YouTube tomorrow. And again, everybody can find the link to the YouTube at mindsetmastersuite.com. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that everyone was prepared for that. Welcome back, Cousin Yasida. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we just determined that after we sleep, go to work, eat, watch TV, do social media, exercise, and go to school, out of our 80 years of life, we now only have 14 years left. It really starts to put things into perspective. Hey, Cousin Veltra, doesn't it? I mean, it puts things in perspective for me. Cousin Arnetta, she's got the crying emojis, but she says, okay. Yes, just go to YouTube and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You won't miss anything. All right. So we've got 14 days left. Can y'all believe that? So, what are we going to do with our 14 days? How are you spending your time? How are you spending your life? Welcome back, Queen Cousin Goddess. Queen Cousin Goddess. Cousin Queen Goddess. Got it. How are you spending your life? That's what I want you to think about moving forward. Okay. I want to show you guys a picture. And I almost wasted time just this morning. Literally, just this morning, I almost wasted time. And I hadn't even read today's devotional yet. But because I was mindful and I try to stay in that space of being mindful and, applying all the things that we learn and managing my time effectively and purposefully, then I was able to catch myself before it got too far out of hand. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys a picture. Cousin Brittany, I'm going to put you off of the screen, but just let me know if you want to come back up. Just put it in the private chat and say, girl, bring me back up anytime.
I think I'm
Okay.
gonna just log out.
Okay. Whatever you want to do.
All right, love you.
Love you more. Bye. Okay, let me get to. And by log out, she didn't mean that she was going to go away. Okay, she's still tuned in, just not on the screen. All right, so I wanted to make that clear because you guys, some of y'all was probably like, oh my gosh, that's not what she meant. And I got what she meant because I know her. All right. I've gotten to know her very well over the past 71 days. Okay. Let me get this picture ready for you guys. Hey, Eds421. Hey, Cam. Welcome. Hey, last responder and grape. Welcome. Look, see, I told you that's her. I am the miracle coach on YouTube. She says, I'm still here. LOL. So I want to share with you guys this picture. Now, this literally just happened this morning. Okay. So I'm going to put the picture up. Oh, let me take that banner off the screen so that you can see it fully. You guys see the picture on the screen? Now give me a second to let Instagram see the picture as well. Instagram, you see the picture? You see the number 1 in the top right-hand corner next to the bell, and you see where I circled the number 1 where it says app streak 356 best, and I underlined 131 perfect weeks. Hey, sassy and classy. Okay, so now you see that. Keep that in mind because I can't hold that there forever. Now let me show TikTok the picture and then I'm going to explain the picture, okay? All right, TikTok, you see the picture? You see the 1 up there because I'm going to talk about that. You see that right there. 1 app streak, 356 best, 131 perfect weeks. And then those for you on audio, I just said what the picture was 2 times. Okay, so let's see. Cousin Yasida says your YouTube channel, please. If you go to mindsetmastersuite.com, then there's a button. It said, well, not a button, but it says YouTube, and you just click on it and it'll take you right to the YouTube. That's where you can find all the replays as well on the YouTube. Okay. Cousin Nancy says, yep. All right, so you guys see that picture. Some of you might be familiar with this picture because you use this app yourself. And this is a screenshot from my Bible app this morning. And when I say that when I went to open up my Bible app, I felt so defeated. I almost got mad. I almost got frustrated, but I was able to catch myself before I got to those emotions. But I knew I would have gotten there because I've gotten there before, because I've had the Bible app on my phone for as long as I can remember. And here's the thing about the Bible app. It has the Bible. It has all different versions of the Bible, so you can switch between the ones that you like. It has devotional reading plans that you can do by yourself or do as a group with friends. It has videos. It has scripture plans. It has little fun, nice images with scriptures. It has a lot of things, okay? But if you notice in the top right corner, wait, let me see, can I backwards? Okay, you see my finger? Now go up just a little bit right there. If you notice in the top right corner, you see that little lightning bolt and it has the number 1 and then it has a bell and then it has my profile picture. Do y'all know how long I've been trying to get to a year straight? Because that is a streak counter. And if you are on there for 24 hours, at least once on the app, Then the next 24 hours, when you get on there, it'll change to 2. And then the next day, it'll change to 3. That is my street counter on how often I am on my Bible app. Whether I'm on there 5 minutes or 5 hours, it doesn't matter. Just did I open up the app in the last 24 hours? Hey, Talib, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay. And so in the past, I have never made it to 300. I think the most I had was like 256 or 262 or something around there. And when I would open it up and see it drop back down to 1 because I accidentally missed a day, I would be so frustrated, like, oh, I just want to get to at least 1 year. And after I get to 1 year, I'm going to try for 2 years, and so on and so forth. And then I wouldn't do anything. I would be like, okay, forget about it. I would be angry. I would be frustrated. And I would say, well, fine. I'm not going to worry about that app. And I literally wouldn't open up the app for days or even weeks or even months, all because of a little streak. Now, family, this is where the enemy wants you to be. Hey, welcome back, Cousin Cunningham. This is where the enemy wants you to be. He wants you to be in that space of feeling defeated. He wants you to be in that space of feeling like a failure. He wants you to be in that space of giving up. Oh man, I missed a day, so now I can't do anything. Oh man, I made a little mistake, so now I can't do anything. Oh man, I said I was going to save $1,000 and I just got my bank account in overdrive. Now I might as well just give up on my savings plan. Oh man, I said I wanted a healthy relationship, but I just had a one night stand with somebody that I just met a week ago. And now I might as well just give up on my goals and healthy relationships. Oh man, I said I was going to start this business and I was going to be serious about starting this business. But because I launched one thing and nobody bought it, that means I'm a failure. And now I'm just going to give up and throw in the towel completely. Now, don't that sound crazy, family? Yet all of us do that all the time. And I'm sorry for y'all on YouTube because the picture is blocking my face that whole time I was talking. So let me sit like this so you can see me on the side of the picture. But we do that all the time. We make one little mistake or we fall down one little time and we want to throw in the towel completely. That's where the enemy wants us to be. Remember, we talked about on previous days that he wants us to feel hopeless. He wants us to give up because when we feel hopeless, we are not walking in our purpose. We can't be doing both at the same time. Over here, cousin Brittany says, oh my gosh, that Bible app streak rocks me when it's reset. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Jeez Louise. Cousin Katasha says, that happened to me on the Glorify app. I was done. So y'all know how I'm feeling, okay? Y'all know how I am feeling. And so back to this screenshot that I have on the screen. Y'all, I was so close in all these years to making it to 1 year. Do you see the part that I circled in the screenshot in the side of the purple circle? And y'all saw that on TikTok and on Instagram? The number 1, and then it said app streak 356 best. When I say I was hurt, how many years is in a, not how many years, how many days is in a year? We got 365 days in a year. This year was a leap year, so we had 366 days in a year. I was at 356. I had 10 days left to make it to 1 year. 10 days, the closest I have ever been for as long as this app has been on my phone for years and years and years. So when I woke up and I went to read the day's scripture this morning before I got out of bed, ooh, that's another point I need y'all to catch. As I went to read the day's scripture this morning before I got out of bed, and I saw that number 1, I felt so defeated. Like, are you kidding me? I was in shock because I know I spent time with the Lord yesterday. And let's say I didn't get it in the morning, usually by the evening time, I will get a notification like, hey, don't forget you haven't opened up your app today. And I don't even recall getting that notification yesterday. And I was traveling yesterday, so I'm sure that was why that I overlooked opening the app, because I noticed sometimes when I'm traveling or if I pulled an all-nighter and I never went to sleep, those were usually the times whenever I would miss a day. And so I started to recognize the patterns on when I would miss a day so that I could be more intentional and more aware when moments like that came, to be more intentional about opening up the app. Okay. So even though I didn't open the app, I did still spend time with the Lord yesterday, and that's what matters. But I'm only human. So this morning, before I even got out of bed, the first thing when I opened up the app and I saw the one, and I was only 10 days away, I felt defeated. And I literally stared at my phone in shock and speechless for at least 5 minutes. Cousin Nancy on TikTok. Cousin Nancy on Clubhouse says, no. That's exactly how I felt in words. I was in shock and speechless. And I literally laid in the bed, just staring at my phone like, this can't be life. This can't be real. And for a good 5 minutes. However, I am sharing this story with you for a reason, because we're talking about a wasted life today. Luckily, I was able to catch what was happening in the moment. And I said, just because you missed yesterday does not mean you have failed, because you still had a great day yesterday. You still spent time with the Lord yesterday, not necessarily on the app, but you still spent time with him. So what do you have to be defeated about? Yesterday, you made some people smile. You brought some joy to some people. So what do you have to be defeated about? Yesterday, you spent time with your DTM family. So what do you have to be defeated about? And I recognize that it was the enemy trying to play on my emotions, because he knows how much I have been trying to get to 1 year, a 1 year streak. And I was 10 days away, family. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Marcus. Cousin Brittany says, felt. And did you notice? It was before I even started my day. So the enemy was trying to make me all frustrated and upset before I even started my day, before I even got out of bed. And some of us will allow those moments. Oh man, I woke up 10 minutes late. Now I'm mad at the world all morning. I'm mad at the world all afternoon, because I let the fact that I woke up 10 minutes late, and then I was late to work by 30 minutes because I woke up 10 minutes late. But because I woke up 10 minutes late and I allowed that anger to foster over into other areas, I ended up being 30 minutes late to work. Now I'm behind at work, and now I'm snapping at people that I shouldn't be snapping at. Now that I had a bad day at work, now I'm off of work and it's time to spend time with my family. But now I'm agitated and I'm annoyed just because I've had a whole bad day, which really you didn't have a bad day. You had a bad 10 minutes that you let overflow into the next hour and the next hour and the next hour. And now it's time for you to go to bed, and you done had a grimace on your face all day long. You have literally wasted the day. And I was able to recognize that in that moment, that nope, we're not going to do it. It is what it is. Looks like we're starting over again, because I still want to get to that 1 year. We're going to let it be what it is. I'm going to acknowledge how I'm feeling right now, and then I'm going to move forward, because I can't go back and change what I did yesterday. I can't go back and change, like reset my time back to 356. Now I'm on 357. No, it is what it is. Now I'm starting back at day one. And so all of us have to be willing to start back at day one. Now, some things in our life, we're not going to get kicked back all the way to day one. We might just get kicked back to day 350. But it doesn't matter. Anytime we get kicked back, we often feel like the world is over. We often feel very defeated and we feel like failures. But we have to remind ourselves that that's where the enemy wants us to be. So Lay says pivoting is powerful on Instagram. Cousin Brittany says, I'm not triggered. It's okay. We can be triggered together as long as we are trying to do better on our triggers, okay? Oh, so today, when I started studying for today's topic and reading the devotional, and it was talking about wasted life, I said, oh, I got the perfect thing that just happened this morning. Remember when we said God doesn't make coincidences, family? The fact that on all the days of the 100 days, this just happened this morning when we're talking about a wasted life and how I almost wasted time just staring at an app that wasn't going to change the screen that I was looking at. So I had to share that with you. It said I had 131 perfect weeks in all my time on the app. 10 days away from making a perfect year streak of using the app every single day. But it is what it is. Can't waste time dwelling on the past. And I've said a few little things that we're actually about to talk about, okay? So now that you've got that wonderful example that happened to me this morning, let me show you a different picture, because how can we make sure that we are spending our time wisely is that we must be mindful. Okay, Velvet Virtue and Keisha and Rhonda and Shirley and Kim. We must be mindful. Now, here's what I want you to think about with mindful, because oftentimes when we hear mindful or mindfulness, we think like yoga, meditation, that I have to be sitting in a quiet room saying for an hour and like candles burning and ambient music and ambient lighting, and like I'm supposed to try and clear all the thoughts from my mind. No, family, that's not necessarily what being mindful is. And so I saw this picture many, many years ago. And ever since I saw it, I was like, I feel like it is the perfect representation of what being mindful truly is. And when you're mindful, essentially, you are just living in the moment. And you are not letting all the things of yesterday and all the things of tomorrow impact your present moment. That's what truly being mindful is all about. So let me put this picture on the screen. Here, let me take that off of there for just a second so you can see the whole thing. Now, everybody on YouTube, LinkedIn, and on the different Facebook platforms, give me a second to show Instagram our picture. So you see that picture there? Take a good look at it, because then I need to show our TikTok cousins the picture. Take a screenshot if you need to. Okay, now let me show our TikTok cousins and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, there you go, TikTok. Take a screenshot of the picture, soak it in. Hey, Lynette. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Soul Sister. Hey, Natural Dion. Take a screenshot of the picture. All right. Okay. So everybody saw the picture. Everybody else on all the other platforms, it's still on the screen. But look at this picture. You see how the guy in the yellow-orange outfit, in his little thought bubble, he has YouTube, Facebook, an envelope, a clock, Twitter, threads, a thumbs up, Wi-Fi, music, a question mark. He's got a whole bunch of things in his thought bubble. Now, I would also say there's probably like bills, maybe an illness, just the normal things that we may stress about from one day to another. Okay. His thought bubble is full of all kinds of different things, distractions, worries, stressors. And the words below him says mind full. So there's a space between mind full. It's two different words. Mind, M-I-N-D, and full, F-U-L-L. So his mind is full of things, full of distractions, full of worries, full of anxieties, full of stressors. Okay? Versus our cousin in the blue here, our little stick figure cousin. Whereas in her thought bubble, it's just 4 trees and the sun. And if you notice in the picture, that's what they're standing in front of, 4 trees and the sun. And the word under her says mindful. So not mindful, but mindful. I know some of you are like, Lindsay, you're saying the same thing. But no, now I'm talking about one singular word, M-I-N-D-F-U-L versus mind space full, F-U-L-L. So she is being mindful and present in the moment. She's not allowing the bills that are due tomorrow or the bills that were overdue yesterday to distract her from the present moment. That doesn't mean that we ignore things. So I want to make sure that I'm clear on that, okay? That doesn't mean that we just ignore and hide and run from our problems. No, that's not what I'm saying. But we do have to be intentional about being mindful in the moment. And that's what she is doing in this picture. So you have to ask yourself, cousin, am I being mindful or am I being mindful? Don't laugh at me, okay? Am I being mindful or am I being mindful? Mm-hmm. Ask yourself which one of those you are being on a regular day-to-day basis. Okay, so let me get that off the screen there. And let's talk about it. So how can we be more like our stick figure cousin in the blue that was mindful? And not mindful. How can we be mindful? Let's talk about 10 ways to be mindful. 10 ways to be more present in the moment, okay? You guys ready? Let me see. Oh, whoops. Sorry, guys. Just checking on our other platforms. Okay, so tip number 1, set your intentions. Whenever you wake up in the day, or even before you go to bed the night before, you can actually do it both times. Do it before you go to bed and then do it again. Reiterate the intention when you wake up in the morning. Set your intentions on what type of day you want to have. Okay, Honesty Bree. Okay, Zipporah. Okay, George. Okay, Cream City. Set your intentions on what type of day you want to have. Maybe you say, you know what? I'm going to have a joyful day today. Or maybe you say, you know what? I'm going to have a productive day today. And keep repeating that, because here's what's happened or what happens. As you go through your day, there are going to be things that come along to distract you from that intention, to distract you from the thing that you said you were going to have when you first woke up. But whenever you are clear on setting that intention, then you'll be able to catch those things and notice like, oh, nope, that's a distraction. I'm trying to be productive. Let me turn it off. Oh, nope, I'm scrolling Facebook for 5 hours. Nope, let me put it down. Soon as I open it up, oh no, I know when I get on Instagram, I'm literally on here at minimum for 30 minutes. Let me put it down. And that doesn't mean we can't enjoy those things. Thanks for the follow, Miss Lady. That does not mean that we can't enjoy those things, but we have to be mindful of how much time we're using on them, how much time we're wasting on them. Okay, I love me a good movie. I love me a good Netflix binge, but I am mindful that I am enjoying those things when I have the time to enjoy them, not when I got deadlines, not when I'm supposed to be spending quality time with my family outside of a screen or anything like that. Okay? Oh no. Oh. Hey, Clubhouse, can somebody put a comment on Clubhouse because just to make sure it's still working? Because my screen is frozen and hopefully you guys can still hear me. So put a comment, and if I don't see any comments in the next few minutes on Clubhouse, I'm going to assume the whole thing is frozen. Okay, so set your intentions. If you set your intentions that I'm going to have a joyful day no matter what, then when that person that always knows how to work your nerves comes along with some BS and is about to work your nerve, you can catch it and say, nope. I know that normally in this situation, I would get frustrated. I would even get angry. But because I am choosing to be joyful, I'm not going to let your crazy behavior or your crazy comments pull me away from the goal that I have of having a joyful day. Setting your intentions works. Okay. Number 2, be flexible of how to be present in the moment. Be flexible. Because the only consistent thing in this entire world is that the world changes. People change, the world change, the times change. That's it. There is nothing that is permanent in this world. Outside of the word of God, God doesn't change. So you can count on him to be permanent. But that's a given. So not in reference to God and his word. But everything else changes. That's a given. That's one thing that you can count on. So the solutions to yesterday's problems might not be the solutions to today's problems. But some of us get so stuck in, oh, this is how it's always been. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then you're wondering why that's not working for you anymore. Whether that's in a career, whether that's in relationships, whether that's in your money, it doesn't matter. It's just like people that don't want to figure out technology. Well, back in my day, I didn't have to blah, 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 blah. Well, it's not that day anymore. Not that you have to be glued to technology, but technology is here and it's here to stay. So how are you going to pivot and grow to incorporate technology in your house? Because just about everything you need an email or you got to have some device. Now you can pay with your phones. All kinds of things, Donnie D. Oh no. Nobody answered on Clubhouse. So I'm going to assume. Did that work? Nope. Yikes. Let me see. Oh, I guess it kicked them out. Oh, well. Okay, well, hopefully they find us on YouTube. Hopefully they find us on YouTube because TikTok froze and just went down and kicked out our cousins on TikTok. Sorry, Clubhouse. Or not TikTok. I'm sorry. Y'all still here. I meant on Clubhouse. Donnie D says, yep. So we have to be flexible. We have to be willing to change. Now, that doesn't mean that we conform to things that go against God's word or against our values. That's not the type of change I'm talking about. I just mean like that we have to be flexible to things that might occur. Like how I had given an example on one of the previous days about like maybe you planned an outing or an event and then all of a sudden it started snowing outside. Instead of getting mad at the snow, it's okay to acknowledge what you're feeling and be upset that now you can't do the plans that you planned because of the snow. But it's no point in being mad about that all day because you're only wasting the day instead of pivoting. Just like our cousin Soleil said, pivoting is powerful. We have to pivot. We have to be flexible to say, dang, it snowed and I am upset that it snowed. I am acknowledging that I am very upset that it snowed and I had these plans for us. However, because I woke up and I set the intentions to have a joyful day, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to take my pause and I'm going to regroup. And I'm going to say, okay, the plans that I planned for today, we're going to have to save for another day. How can we make the most of what we have now and be present in the moment? So we have to be willing to be flexible. Cousin Nancy said, we responded, but it just kicked us out. Yeah. And for me, I couldn't see any of y'all's responses. And then it kicked me out. So sorry, guys. Hopefully everyone tuned in on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever. Hopefully everyone can find it that was in there, because I don't even know who was in the room anymore because it was stuck on the comment section. Okay, 10 tips to be more present. Number 3, ground yourself. And we talked about this a lot on day 66. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but just ground yourself. And if you are like, well, what do you mean, Cousin Lindsay, to ground yourself? I'm glad you asked, Cousin Sharon. Go back and watch day 66 replay. Okay, because when we were talking about calming our hearts, we gave a lot of different tips on ways that we can ground ourselves. Tip number 4, acknowledge your emotions. And that's what I was just saying when I was talking about acknowledging that you're upset that it snowed outside and it messed up the plans that you had. Don't try and hide away from the things that you're feeling. Acknowledge what you're feeling. God gave us all these emotions for a reason, and we are not to suppress them. Okay, acknowledge how you're feeling, process through those emotions, and then make the intentional choice to move forward. Say, how am I going to heal? Or how am I going to process this so that I can move forward and get back on track to where I need to be? Cousin Tabitha Leo says, yesterday, see? Hey, Baskoro, welcome. Tuned in live from Bali, Indonesia. Okay, so acknowledge your emotions. And we talked about that on a previous day, more in depth as well, because we can't heal what we conceal. So acknowledge how you're feeling and that you're upset or that you're distracted or that you're anxious. Okay, Cousin Brittany says, yes. Number 5. Don't dwell on the past. Now, we talked about this on a previous day as well. Remember that day, if you were here, I think this was before we made it to day 50. So in the first half of DTM, we talked about thinking about that person where it seems like they're stuck in the past. Like every time you see them, they're always talking about, I won the game-winning shot with only 1 second left on the buzzer back in 1992. And here we are in 2024. And then you see them again next week, and then they telling you the same story so much you done heard the story that much that you could repeat the story for them. And they're living in the past. And we talked about why it's important to let the past be the past, both the good and the bad. Because some of us are living in the past hurts. Some of us are living in the past pleasantries. We're living in the past achievements, in the past accomplishments. But some of us are living in the past hurts, the past traumas, the past victimizations. Neither one is good, family. So we can't dwell in the past. Because when you're living in the past of achievements, then it's hard for you to be present in the moment and experience even greater achievements or equally as comforting or pleasant experiences because you're too busy focused on the past experiences. And we talked about on that previous day, whatever day it was, that God always wants to do bigger and better in our lives. But if we're too stuck on the past, he can't do that. So that's on one hand. But then on the other hand, for those of us that are living in past traumas, we can't move forward in the future. We can't heal because we won't let go of the past. Now, I'm not saying that means let go and forget or anything like that, or that means that we have to, if we forgive, then we're acknowledging whoever victimized us or whatever it is. That's not what I mean at all. But here's the thing, and you maybe didn't know this, but when we are constantly reliving the traumas that we experienced in our past, we're actually re-victimizing ourselves over and over and over again. So every time we rethink about how we were abused in whatever way, shape, or form, then we are experiencing that pain all over again. Every time we think about how that person just broke our heart and tore us up, we are re-experiencing that pain all over again. Every time we get mad whenever we finally saved a $5,000 and then something happened and then you were negative $165, we are re-victimizing ourselves and that pain and that resentment and that sense of failure. And that's where the enemy wants us to be. And so we can't move forward until we heal those issues, those struggles, those traumas that we have experienced in the past. If you think about something of your past and you still get emotional about it, it still makes you anxious. It still makes you fearful. It still makes you cry. Tears of anguish, not tears of joy. That means you are still being impacted by it. You're still being negatively influenced by it. That means you got some healing to do. Whenever you can talk about the experience without getting emotional, and I got to be careful with that. Let me give you one of my disclaimers, because sometimes we don't get emotional because we are putting up a front. We have allowed ourselves to become cold. Some people say heartless. And so that's another end of the spectrum that we don't want to be in. Okay. So assuming that you haven't allowed yourself to become cold and shut off and heartless and numb, there's a good word, numb to what you experienced. That's actually an extreme form of emotion, feeling numb. So just throw that in there with feeling emotional. That means you still have work to do. You still have a journey on healing that issue in your life. Because here's the thing, God wants to use the pain that you've been through in your life and turn it around for your good. And not only for your good, but for the good of people connected to you. And he has the full capabilities of doing that. But he can't do that if we aren't willing to go through the process of healing that trauma. So we can't live in the past because it's affecting our moment to be present in the present. You guys follow? Cousin Tabitha says, we had an acknowledgement of something. I kept doing that, re-victimizing myself. Well, that's okay, because now you know better. And so now you can do better moving forward. And that doesn't mean that your streak won't go back down to 1 sometimes. But we have to pick it up and keep it going. Because the more that we are intentional about these things, the easier it becomes to course correct whenever they pop up in our lives. Okay. Hey, Sashay. Hey, Lawrence. Hey, Sergo. Number 5 was don't dwell on the past. Let me take a quick drink, please. You know what? Let me also do this. I'm just going to go in Mindset Master Suite, and I'm going to create an event for, no, I don't have time to do all that. I just want to start something right now. I thought that would work. Let me see. No, oh well. Let me close that up. Okay, so let's get back into it. Day 6. So tip number 5, not day 6. If tip number 5 was don't dwell on the past, who can guess what tip number 6 is? Don't dwell on the future. It goes both ways, family. You know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we can't dwell on the past, but we also can't dwell on the future. Sometimes too much of something is bad. Sometimes too little of something is bad. Sometimes too much of something, no, not good, because usually too much is not good. We can never have, wait, let me get my thoughts together. What I'm trying to say is we can never have too much of God. That we can just have all the time, his goodness and gracious. Okay. But anywho, don't dwell on the past. Number 6 is don't dwell on the future. And you may be familiar with this. Have you ever noticed that person that's always on the go, go, go? They're always thinking about the next thing. What's next? What's next? What's next? And sometimes you have to remind them, and maybe that person is you, like, hey, slow down. Let's celebrate what just happened now before we move on to the next. You know anybody like that? Or maybe that person is you. Or maybe you have a planned weekend or a planned vacation and you're doing one thing and somebody's constantly, well, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do in the morning? What are we going to do tomorrow? And it's like, hey, calm down. Let's focus on what we're going to do right now. Not that we aren't planning and thinking about tomorrow, but stop focusing on all of that in the future and let's get through the right now, the present. Cousin Tabitha Leo says her younger sister. Okay. So sometimes we have to just remind ourselves to celebrate the now and not be so focused on planning the next. So, for example, anytime that I am doing something big in business, and I don't mean big like, oh, grande, but we'll use my self-care retreat, for example, which, by the way, lady cousins, any of you that want to join me in Bali, Indonesia this October for the First Class Life Self-Care Retreat, slide in my DMs and I will get you the information, okay? Because we had one lady already sign up, and I haven't even posted the website yet. Ain't that? Thank God. But now there are officially only 11 suites left. So anybody want to join me in Bali, Indonesia this October for some self-care? Slide in my DMs. Okay. So let me get back on track. Anytime that I host a retreat or host an event, there is nothing on my schedule for the week after. I don't want to answer no emails. I don't want to respond to no comments. I don't want to do anything. I am resting and I am enjoying the moment that was just had. I'm not thinking about what's next. I am taking a break. Anytime after I launch a product, I take a break. Anytime after I do anything big, I take a break. Let's see. In September, this past September, I was filming a movie and I was out of town for about 3 weeks. And afterwards, I took a break and I didn't do anything. Not only just to reset and rest my mind, body, and soul, but also to just live in the moment and enjoy what had just occurred. Okay. So we have to remember, stop always thinking about what's next. Like, yes, we want to plan for the future, but we can't be so consumed on the future that we lose sight of the present. Okay. And I'm sure we've been around people that have done both, dwelt on the past and dwelt on the future. It's like you're out to eat with them and you're talking to them, but you can tell their mind is somewhere else. They're being mindful instead of mindful. Okay. So one more example for tip number 6, and then I am going to move on to tip number 7. I want to give you, this happened a couple years ago, maybe like 5 years ago. I remember I was on a weekend trip. I don't really remember I think I was going for a conference or something like that. And anytime I go out of town for a conference, I still try to enjoy myself. Okay. Even if I'm gone for work, because why not? And so, anywho, this conference was amazing. The people I was around was amazing. And I just remember I kept thinking, like, I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. Like, I'm having so much fun. I'm learning all these things and things that'll help my business and just help me in general. And I'm meeting and hanging out with all these great people. We're going to eat, we're dancing, we're laughing, we're having a good time. And I don't want this weekend to end. We're having so much fun. And I just remember I kept thinking, I don't want it to end. Oh no, like we only have 2 days left. I don't want it to end. We only have 1 day left. I don't want it to end. Oh no, we only got an hour left. And I just kept thinking that, family. And do you know how fast that weekend went by? It literally went by in the blink of an eye, it felt like. And then I got back home and I was like, dang, that weekend went by so fast. So even though I wasn't directly dwelling on the future, the words out of my mouth were focused on the future because I kept saying, I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end, and having essentially a countdown of when it was going to end. I was dwelling on the future. And then I got home and I was dwelling on the past. Like, dang, that weekend was so fun. I wish it was longer. And I was wasting time. And I recognized that because then the next time I went on a trip and I was with some of those same people, and I was very intentional about being present in the moment. And I didn't think about when we were going to end. I never let the phrase, I don't want this to end, to enter my mind or come out of my mouth. And this is why minding our thoughts is so important, and being mindful of our mindsets and our perspectives. Because when I say I literally slowed down time, it was the same amount of time as the previous time, but yet it felt like it was longer. It felt more full. It felt more enriched. It felt deeper because I was present in the moment. And I even remember thinking one time, like, dang, it's only blah, blah, blah time, or it's only blah, blah, blah day. Because I was so present in the moment that I literally was slowing down time. And I don't mean slowing down time as in I was bored, because I wasn't. You know how sometimes when you're bored and it seems like time is just dragging on, or when you're really tired and the time was just dragging on. I had to drive home from Kentucky last week after a shoot, and it felt like that last 15 minutes was a whole hour because I was so tired and so ready to get home, and it felt like time was dragging on. And here I am thinking that I've been driving for 5 minutes and only 0 minutes went by. Now I'm like, surely I've been driving for 15 minutes. Where is my exit? And only 2 minutes went by. So I don't mean like that. But I was literally slowing down time because I was present in the moment. And it seemed like my weekend was extended and longer. And I got to experience the moment a lot more fully and purposefully because I was present in the moment. I was mindful. Now, the first time I was mindful. The second time I was mindful. You guys got it? Let me know. If you were just tuning in and you didn't get the difference in how I was just saying mindful and mindful, then make sure you go back and watch the replay, because there was a whole graphic on the screen and I explained the difference. So tip number 7, make eye contact and listen in your conversations. This is a way that we can be present in the moment, that we can not waste time in our lives. Because remember, we only got 14 years. We only have 14 years to live. And if you don't know what I'm talking about because you tuned in late, go back and watch the replay. We explained it all out and why we only have 14 years. Because in Tabitha says yes with the prayer hands emojis up like this. So make eye contact and listen in your conversations. Because you know what that does? It helps you to be present in the moment. It helps you to connect deeper with the person that you're talking to, even if you're talking about something superficial. Okay? When you look somebody in the eyes, it helps to register subconsciously, like, hey, this person is paying attention to me. Cousin Nancy says daily over on Instagram. And listen, because a lot of us listen to respond instead of listening to hear. Now you might be saying, Lindsay, what do you mean? I'm glad you asked, cousin Jazz. A lot of us listen to respond instead of listening to hear. And what I mean by that is that we're listening to the person across from us, but only so that we can think about how we're going to respond back. We're thinking of our rebuttal, or we're thinking about what we're going to say to keep the conversation going. And we aren't truly being attentive to the words that they're saying. We're only paying attention enough to make sure that what we respond with matches what they were talking about. And that happens all the time. If you've ever caught yourself saying, I'm sorry, what'd you say? You weren't present in the moment. You were mindful instead of mindful. Y'all gonna be saying that all day tomorrow. Walk up to a stranger. Are you mindful? Or are you mindful? I'm sorry in advance, okay? Cousin Nancy says, people appreciate when we generally want to know what they are saying. Yes, yes, yes. And that is so true. And we can literally make someone's day when we attentively listen to them and be present in the conversation and present in the moment. Welcome back, Cousin Anne Marie. Because these days it's so few and far between. Everybody is so caught up in their own world, so caught up in what they're going to say in response to what you're saying, that we've lost track of just being present. Okay, so look people in the eye when you're having conversations with them. Listen to hear them instead of listening to respond to them. Okay, so that's another way that you can be present in the moment. Okay, Rosalind? Tip number 8, don't multitask. Multitasking is a myth. And before y'all come at me, let me tell you that I am a retired multitasker, okay? You actually are less effective when you multitask. Now, not only have I tested this theory out for myself many of times, but I've also studied it, and there's lots of research about it as well. So go Google it. But you are actually less effective and you spend more time. You think you're getting more done because you're focused on 5 things at once, but you're actually spending more time doing those 5 things. Then instead, if you were to just get laser focused on one singular thing and do it, you'll knock it out. And then do the next thing, laser focus on one singular thing and do it, and you'll knock it out, and you can move on to the next thing. And what you will find is that you end up having more time at the end of your day when you're laser focused on one singular thing, one after another, instead of when you're multitasking 10 or 5, 15 things all at the same time. Cousin Tabitha Leo says, me too. Cousin Nancy says, guilty of this. Like I said, retired multitasker here. And sometimes I still find myself doing it. And then I have to try and correct myself. Like, oh, no, put that down. Focus on this. I even told cousin Brittany earlier today, when we are going to get on a Zoom call, I said, let me finish this email and then we can hop on. Instead of hopping on the Zoom call and then trying to be like, okay, I got to finish this email real fast. So hold on just a second. No, just eliminate all of that. Let me finish this email real quick and then we can hop on the Zoom and then I can be fully present and attentive with you. And y'all, I didn't even plan that earlier today. And look how it fit right in with today's topic. Mm-hmm. So we have to let go of multitasking. And here's the thing, family. It used to be that it took an average, oh man, I done forgot the statistic. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Can I get it together real fast? 13 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 seconds, 13 seconds, 13 minutes. Oh no. Okay. Don't quote me exactly because it's been a long time since I've said this. And now I've since forgotten it a little bit. So I'm going to have to go back through my stuff and do the research again and even see what the current data is, because I know the data has changed over time because we're in such a social media age and we're in such a distraction age that now the time has decreased in even more or increased. The time has changed. So I think this is it though, but again, don't quote me and I will try to correct myself at some point. Um, there has been research that on average, it takes us about 13 minutes to get focused on a singular task. And any time that our focus is diverted away from, we'll say, task A, and there's a distraction, and we attend to that distraction, and then we go back to task A, it takes us a full another 13 minutes to get focused again. It might be 7 minutes, or it might be neither of those, but I feel like it's about 13 minutes. So let's say you're doing task A and then you get distracted. And so now you got to restart for another 13 minutes. Then you get distracted again. And now you got to restart for another 13 minutes. The more you do that, the more you're wasting time, family. Does that make sense? Now, again, I'm not clear if those are the correct numbers. And even since I last researched it, I know the numbers have changed since then with the popularity of social media. But y'all get the point, right? And so if we're constantly being distracted, we're constantly having to start over. So that's why whenever you're really focused on something, it's good to just put your phone on do not disturb or set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes and say, for the next 15 minutes, this is all I'm going to focus on. Nothing is going to distract me. I'm going to remove all the distractions. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave my phone upstairs, leave my tablet upstairs, and I'm only going to focus on what I need to focus on for 15 minutes solid, and bet how much you get done versus if you allow yourself to be distracted with all of those things. Cousin Nancy says, sure does. I was a mess today. I blame the fast on chocolate today. Listen, I hear chocolate is addicting. I'm not fond of chocolate, so I don't know, but I hear it's very addicting. So, hey, speaking of, what did everybody fast for this past 24 hours? Because now you can resume whatever it was. Remember last night you were supposed to pick something to fast for 24 hours? Cousin Nancy says she fasted chocolate. I think Cousin Brittany says she fasted food completely. I think she said that earlier. Nancy said, glad I did no sugar. Ooh, so she just did sugar completely, not just chocolate. Let me know in the comments what you chose to fast for the past 24 hours. Okay. So give up multitasking because it's a myth. All right. Nancy says 0. She's had 0 sugar. We gotta give a round of applause to that because did y'all know sugar is actually addicting? It's more addictive than actual like street drugs, heroin or crack or stuff like that. To me, heroin and crack and cocaine, those are all the same thing to me. Because I remember, I don't know, this is a little side note, I'm gonna share with y'all. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I think in the conversation, I was like, oh yeah, the blah, 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 crack. And they were like, it wasn't crack. And I'm like, okay. They're like, it was cocaine. I don't know. It's the same to me. It's a drug that messes people up. Crack, cocaine, heroin, whatever. I'm sure it's different in how you make them or you cook them or how you ingest them. I don't know. I don't care. I don't do them. Whatever. So they say that sugar is more addictive. Not they say, there's actually research that sugar is more addictive than one of those drugs. Heroin, crack, cocaine, or maybe all of them. I don't know. Okay, let me get back on task. Okay, Cousin Tabitha says, I have to talk to my doctor about fasting on food. Yes, please do that. But meanwhile, just know that you can fast something else. Like you can fast social media, you can fast your Starbucks, you can fast your money. But if you're wanting to do a food fast of some sort because of your diabetes, then definitely make sure you consult with your doctor. Maybe it is that you only do fruits and vegetables and you fast other food or something like that. But definitely you have other things to consider. Cousin baby girl Carmen is tuned in on TikTok. She says, hi, mom, with a smiley face. Hi, baby. Over here on YouTube, Cousin Katasha says social media, sugar, and juice. Ooh, you fasted 3 things. How did you do? Did you make it the full 24 hours with all 3 of those? Cousin Nancy says, I believe it. I don't know, but I miss my chocolate milk, something fierce. It's true. It's true. She says Tyler is messing with me. Well, baby, I'm in the middle of DTM right now. So tell your papa or tell your nini or call your dad even. She's out of town at her grandparents' house. And so ain't that about what kids will do? Be all the way out of town and then they still talk, Mom, Mom. Any of you that have kids? Oh, here they go again. She says, tell him to stop. He's right here. Tyler, leave your sister alone. Now, if you have any other issues, go tell your grandparents because they're actually in the house with you. Okay. Cousin Brittany is laughing. Like, come get your niece and nephew, okay? Come get them. Come. I'm going to send them to Oklahoma City with you for a little bit. Cousin Katasha says, social media and juice, yes. Popped a piece of candy in my mouth and spit it out. So I failed there. No, I'm going to give you some hand claps because I'm going to say that you didn't fail because you spit it out. You spit it out. Now, if you ate 75% of it, then spit it out, then, fell off the bandwagon a little bit. But if you popped it in, notice the sugar, and then spit it out, I'm going to say you still did good, okay? You did good. Cousin Nancy says, Mama is holding down the fort at DTC. Listen, I try. Look, y'all come get y'all's niece and nephew. They are picking at each other all the way out of town, 2 hours away. Now they on my live, distracting me. That's y'all's niece, y'all's nephew, okay, cousin? So I'm going to send them to LA with you, Cousin Nancy, or Louisiana with you, Cousin Tabitha, or Maryland with you, Cousin. Whoever wants them, we make a schedule, okay? Cousin Katasha says, LOL, no, I didn't do that. I spit it out. Ha ha. See, so I would say that that's still a win. A win is a win. A win is a win. You did it. You spit it out. Okay. Whenever I was fasting in January, I was fasting sugar and I had my family in town that was staying for the week and I was making them a drink, an adult beverage, if you will. And see, people love my drinks in the blender, whether it has alcohol or no alcohol, it don't matter. But just know that my drinks are not the healthiest, okay? I use juice, I use fruit, so there's some healthy components, but I always use some type of juice or pop or something like that as the liquid, or if it's an adult beverage, I use alcohol as a liquid. But then I always use sherbet or ice cream or something in my mixed drinks, okay? And so here's the thing. I was making them a drink and then I went to taste it. And I said, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And it was so hard to make them a drink because none of my drinks are ever the same. I literally look at, okay, what ingredients do I have today? What flavor am I going for? And then I just get to work and make stuff up as I'm going. And so, I have to taste it. See, does it need a little of this, a little of that? And I started to taste it and I forgot. Even though I knew I wasn't going to make me a cup, I completely forgot and I went to taste the drink. And I was like, oh no. Cousin Katasha says, and I ordered the Bible and it came today. I love it. Yes, see? Look, I need to put this on my YouTube store. I really need to do better. All these things that I'm always talking about and recommending, I need to put them on my YouTube store so I can start getting a kickback in the name of the Lord, okay? But yes, you love it so much. I told you, once I realized the power that was in this book, I was like, girl, you have been sleeping on this Life Application Study Bible. And yours came fast because didn't we just talk about this yesterday? Was that yesterday or the day before that you asked about it? And it came today. That's that Amazon Prime for you. Cousin Brittany says, see, I'll forget too. That's why I did all food. I feel you. Cousin Tabitha says, LOL with the laughing emoji. Cousin Nancy says, I have to jump. I've got a big meeting in the office tomorrow. Sweet dreams. I will see you on day 73. I'm ordering tomorrow. Yes, yes, yes. Good luck in your meeting. Enjoy the day. We will see you back in a little bit. Hey, Nicole, thank you for the likes on TikTok. Cousin Katasha says, last night, yep, Amazon is the move. Give it up for Amazon, because they got me spoiled. The first thing I look at is it prime shipping available? And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, everything can be here in 2 days or one day, Lindsay. It's okay, because it used to take 2 weeks to get something in the mail. Oh, thank you for sharing, Cousin Nicole. I appreciate it. Okay, so where were we? Because we went off on a whole tangent with the don't multitask. Number 9, tip number 9. Let me get back to it. There we go. Release your worries. Now, we won't get deep into this tip because we've talked about it many times before, giving your worries to God. We even talked about it in depth a couple days ago. Releasing, let me see. Day 69, family. Day 69, releasing your worries to God, casting your cares upon God, giving him the things that you are worried and anxious about. We talked about that in depth on day 69. Okay, so go back and watch that replay for tip number 9. And tip number 10, block out present time in your schedule. Present time, even if you have to write in your schedule, present time. Okay. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, that seems silly. I shouldn't have to block out time. But are you doing it right now? How crazy and chaotic is your schedule? Sometimes just putting things on your schedule helps you to commit to them. Even if you have to put a nap on your schedule, from 1 to 2, I'm taking a nap. So maybe you're going to put from 10 to 10:30, I'm being present. And you define what present looks like for you. Maybe that means that you're going to turn off all electronics and take a walk outside and listen to the birds and feel the sun shining on your face. Or if you're somewhere where it's cold, feel the cold wind blowing on your face. Now, I can't function in the cold, so that would not make me very happy and relaxed. So, you define what that present time looks like for you. Maybe it's, okay, from 5 to 8 p.m. every day, I'm going to put down all devices and I'm going to spend time with my children. And I'm actually going to listen to the things that they're saying and be present in the things that they're doing and be engaged in our conversations. Or maybe from 8 to 10, I'm going to make sure that is solely my boo thing time, where we are just being attentive to each other, and maybe we're rubbing each other's backs, we're having a nice dinner, we're just talking about our days, even if we're discussing the bills. But we don't want to discuss the bills the whole time, okay? Because we want to think about happy thoughts. But if you have to put it in your schedule, put it in your schedule. Because here's what happens when you put it on your schedule, and then it kind of triggers something in our brain that it makes us feel like, okay, now we have to do it. It's in the schedule, so we have to do it. And then once you get in the habit of doing it, especially if you do it at a certain time every day on a certain routine, then your body starts to get used to it. Your body starts to crave it. And then when you miss a day, you're like, dang, I didn't spend my time. I need to get back to spending my time, until eventually it just becomes habit. So much so you don't got to put it on the schedule anymore, because now it's a part of your regular routine. Make sense, family? Okay, so those were the 10 tips to be more present. Let's get into our day 71 intentional insight and act. All I want you to do in the next 24 hours is to identify or record how much time you spend on social media or watching a screen. Now, if your work literally is on a screen of some sort, then you don't have to count that. But if you take a break from your work and open up a new tab and get on Facebook, that counts. Okay. So here's the thing. On Facebook, on Instagram, I think even on TikTok, on a lot of social media platforms, there's actually in the settings somewhere where you can see how much time you spent on the platform for the day, or how much time you spent in the last 7 days. Like you can adjust the filters. So identify it by going to the settings and finding that. I can't tell you exactly where because it looks different on all the platforms, but just play around with it. You'll find it. And it'll say, this is how much time you've spent on Instagram today. And record that down. It's a real eye opener. Because remember, those little 5 minutes add up, and those 5 minutes can easily spiral into 30 minutes and an hour and 2 hours. And so ask yourself, how much time did I spend? And if you are on a platform that maybe doesn't have that little tracker, then actually record down every time you notice yourself getting on social media or watching TV or watching a movie. Take note of the time you started and the time you ended, and write it down or keep track of it in your phone. And at the end of the 24 hours, add it all up. Say, dang, it didn't really feel like I spent 6 hours on social media today. That's crazy. 6 hours that I could have been spending time with my family, or 6 hours that I could have been working on my business, or 6 hours that I could have been working on my goals or investing in stock market, or whatever it is that you could have been doing instead of wasting the time. Now, remember, as I said earlier, that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy social media, but most of us are doing frivolous things on social media. Just be intentional about it. If you know that social media relaxes you because you like to get on there and watch funny videos about dogs or about cats, like here, my guilty pleasure is I like to watch videos about gorillas and monkeys because those videos are really funny sometimes. So I just like to watch them. And I like baby videos of babies doing funny things, and really any animals doing funny things. Even though I'm not an animal person, I like to watch animal videos when they're doing funny things. And really anything that's funny, whether it's animal or a person, I like to watch those. And so if you know, like, okay, I have a break for 10 minutes, I'm going to enjoy Facebook for 10 minutes, or I'm going to enjoy funny TikTok videos for 10 minutes. Set your timers. Set a timer for 10 minutes and then get on there. And when that timer goes off, close it. My daughter said, "Yeah, you don't like animals." Yes, baby girl. Did you listen all the way? Or because I feel like that comment came after I said it. Did I or did I not, family, admit that I'm not an animal person and I don't like animals? I'm sorry. Please don't kick me out the family because I'm not an animal person. I just never been an animal person. All right. So I got chased by a dog when I was younger. Add that to my allergies and make me itch, make my eyes water, make me sneeze a lot, get my throat dry sometimes. I'm just not an animal person. But that don't mean I don't enjoy a good, funny animal video sometime. And if I'm on vacation, then I will dope myself up full of medicine and I will go on animal experiences because that's a little bit different. I say, let me take all this medicine and spend an hour riding horses along the beach. Okay. She says, I know you did. Okay, thank you. Because I felt like you was calling me out for a second, baby girl. She tried it. So, anywho, that's what I want you to do in the next 24 hours, family, is identify or record how much time you spend on social media or watching TV. And that includes news, anything that's on a screen, whether it's on your phone, the TV, or a tablet, or your computer. If it's on a screen, count it. Okay. Outside of physical work, if you have to do actual work, or if you are paying your bills, that doesn't count. So anything outside of the obligations that you are required to do on a screen, count those, okay? And then see how much time you spent there at the end of 24 hours. All right, so that's all I got for you for day 71. Tomorrow we will be back for day 72. And remember, you might not see my face tomorrow. You might see our cousin Brittany's face because I may or may not still be filming when it's time. It just depends on what our final call time is and if we have an overnight shoot or run into the late night hours, okay? And also, don't forget, there will be no Clubhouse, no Instagram, and no TikTok streams tomorrow. Only on the main Facebook, the LinkedIn, and the YouTube. So only on 3 of the 8 platforms. So make sure you go to mindsetmastersuite.com and click on the YouTube for day 72. I need for everybody to tune in via YouTube. You can still leave your comments and all of those things all on the YouTube channel for tomorrow, just in case our cousin Brittany has to sub in and be the host for day 72 in case I'm not available. Okay, so mindsetmastersuite.com is where you will find all the things. You will find the links to the YouTube. You can download your free copy of the book. You can subscribe to our official DTM community. And please subscribe, family. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Everybody that subscribes by Friday will be entered to win a prize. And anybody that subscribed before yesterday, March 11th, will get 2 entries. So some of you, and I already know who you are, had already subscribed. So you're going to get 2 entries because you didn't waste no time. And then everybody else that subscribes by Friday, March 15th, will get 1 entry. And I'm going to do a giveaway and it's going to be nice. I'm going to need your mailing address. Okay. So make sure that you subscribe to our official DTM community because that is where we will be after our 100 days over. And that is where we will continue to grow in the spirit. Okay. So mindsetmastersuite.com is where you can find the links to all of the things. You can also find tools and resources. Everything that you need is on the site. Okay. Now I'm going to have to call my daughter after I get off here because she's saying, why? Oh, really? And I don't know what she's talking about. Probably that I have to film tomorrow. But girl, you out of town, so you're not going to be home to miss me no way. Okay, guys, so that is it. I will maybe see you tomorrow. I will for sure see you on day 73. But either way, cousin Brittany is going to take care of you tomorrow if I'm not available. So, all right, see you later. Hey, Carrington Noel, make sure you tune in to our YouTube to catch the replay because we are wrapping up. Okay. Mindsetmastersuite.com is where you can find the link to all the things and you can find the link to the YouTube. Cousin Tabitha says, I enjoyed the session. It was a great show. Good night. And baby girl Carmen says, what can I win? Girl, you can't win nothing. Okay. But love you. Bye. Thank you, Katasha.